Good.
It's my second shot, and I decided to come do it because my mother is 92 years old, and she doesn't have COVID, and to help take care of her, I think I have to have the shot.
Pues espero que la gente haga caso, se vacune y la gente también pueda disfrutar de llegar otra vez a la normalidad como era antes. Quizás andar sin máscara porque esto...
Present.
Koretz.
Present.
Krikorian.
Here.
Lee. Martinez.
Present.
O'Farrell.
Present.
Price. Councilmember Price. Rahman.
Here.
Ridley Thomas. Councilmember Ridley Thomas. Rodriguez.
Here.
12 members present and a quorum, Madam President.
Okay, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes of March 16th.
Mr. O'Farrell moves and Mr. Blumenfield seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Ms. Rodriguez moves and Mr. Bonin seconds. Next.
Madam President, would council like all items to go forthwith today?
Without objection, that will be the order. Next.
Items, Madam President, items 1 through 8, 10 through 18, and 20 are items for which public hearings have been held. Additionally, on item 13, community impact statements have been submitted in support of the item from the Northridge South, Eagle Rock, Historic Highland Park, and Palms Neighborhood Councils. Items 9, 19, 21, and 22 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Those, without objection, those items are now before us. Members, do you wish to call any of these items specials? Ms. Rahman?
Yes, I'd like to call item 2 special for comment.
Okay, any others?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Koretz?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to call items 6 and 7 special for comments.
Okay, thank you. Mr. O'Farrell?
Thank you, Madam President. I was also going to call 2 and 7, but they've been called. I will add 8 for comments.
And you also would like to speak on 2 and 7, is that right?
Correct. Thank you.
Mr. Blumenfield?
7 for comments, but I believe it's been called.
Okay, any others?
That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Bonin?
2 for comments and questions, but I believe Ms. Rahman just called it.
And Mr. Cedillo?
Yes, Madam President, I'd like to call items 4 and 12.
4 and 12?
Mhm.
Are these for comments, or do you wish to introduce an amending
Should have
motion?
raised my hand first.
Comments, I'm sorry, comments.
Rahman.
Okay, members, any other specials? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, what items can we vote on?
Council may vote on item 1, 3, 5, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 20.
Okay, let's go ahead and call the roll on those items.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Bonin.
Bonin, aye.
Buscaino.
Aye.
Cedillo.
Cedillo, aye?
De Leon.
Aye.
Harris Dawson.
Yes.
Koretz.
Aye.
Krikorian.
Aye.
Lee. Martinez.
Aye.
O'Farrell.
Aye.
Price. Rahman.
Aye.
Ridley Thomas. Rodriguez.
Aye.
12 ayes, these items are adopted.
Okay, Mr. City Attorney, before we take public comment, do you want, why don't we go ahead and discuss how we're going to conduct the hearing for item 19?
Yes, Madam President. So item 19 is a fair hearing item, and we're going to have applicants and appellants. So what I recommend we do is we treat this kind of like we do when we have a special hearing for a law matter. We're going to take public comment as normal. Members of the public can speak on, well, actually, the items are not open for public comment. The items that will be open for public comment are 21 and 22. When we're done with that, we're going to close out the public comment. Later in the meeting, we'll hear from the appellants for item 19. So, we can start with public comment, and if the appellants are able to dial in now with everybody else. We'll get to you later. If we have to close out the meeting, that's to say close out the public comment and you get booted off the call for the appellants and the applicants, please dial back in later when we tell you to. We know it's a little inconvenient, but we want to make sure you get through. So let's have the clerk read out the information as normal, and I'll read out the information. We'll take the normal public comment, and then we'll deal with item 19 later on.
Okay. So, Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and read the calling information and take regular public comment.
Thank you, Madam President. And before we begin public comment, there is a request from a member to continue item 9 to March 24th.
Without objection.
Thank you. And then, as indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and press pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. Finally, when you hear the last 4 digits of your phone number, press star 6. And again, call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and press pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak, and when you hear the last 4 digits of your phone number, press star 6.
So to members of the public calling in, when it's your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak on. You'll have 1 minute per item to speak, up to, in this case, 2 minutes total, and 1 minute for general public comment, if you wish. Please speak on the items before speaking on general public comment. We'll tell you when your time's up. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you're not speaking on topic, or if we can't tell whether you're on topic, you'll get 1 brief warning from me or the president. If you don't immediately get clearly on topic or against or off topic, you'll be cut off and you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we'll move on to the next speaker. We'll take 30 minutes total of public comment. The items that are open for public comment are items 21 and 22 only, and general public comment if you wish. Again, speaking to the appellants for item number 19, dial in with everybody else. If we have to close out the phone lines, we'll let you know to dial back in. We'll hear the fair hearing with the applicants or the appellants on item 19 later on. Only from them, not the public again. And finally, for everybody who's calling in to speak, as soon as you hear someone address you by reading off the last 4 digits, your phone number or other identifying information if you're on a block call, you're live in the council meeting and it's your turn to speak. Please immediately press star 6 to let us know which items you want to speak on. We understand that you may be listening on another device. If so, keep one ear to the phone though, because there's a time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast. And if you aren't listening to the phone, when we read out your identifying information, you may not press star 6 quickly enough, and we may think you're no longer on the line and we'll move on to the next person. Also, if you're listening onto another device, as soon as it's your turn to speak, please turn down the volume on the other device immediately, both because the time delay will cause confusion and because we'll get feedback. Thank you, Madam President, and we're ready to take public comment.
Okay, thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Let's go ahead and start with the first speaker.
Yes, it's 30 minutes total of public comment. except for item 19, which we'll deal with later.
Caller with the phone number ending in 7719, please press star 6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Thank you. It's Eric Previn, and I'd like to speak on the only items available, 21 and 22. But of course, you can speak on 19, correct?
You may speak on item 19 during general public comment if you wish, Mr. Previn.
Oh, but you can't actually comment on the hearing. Okay, so that's kind of like being segregated. I got it. Fair enough. Let's move on to just the one that we'll talk about, which is 21 and 22 in a general public comment. Thanks. So this looks interesting. This is 178,200 square feet mixed-use building with 175 dwelling units. Good work. I mean, we need places for folks. 9 of them units will be restricted to extremely low. 2 are at market rate for the managers, 18 units at restricted to low income. And then here's the lion's share, 146 units restricted to very low income households. Now, all these categories are great. It is a little bit confusing, I have to admit, for the regular folks. But this one looks pretty good, and Lieberman is to be credited on this. This is the guy, QES Inc., who's been doing this since the 90s. What he does is he gets approvals from City of LA. He does it presumably legally, not like Maury Goldman, and he does it for other municipalities. He's done like 250 projects in his career, including folks like Lennar Communities, who are a county group that people are very wary of. AmCal, we can perk up there, the Valencia company, the LA Archdiocese, and AMG. Huh? Well, what they do is they just move things along nicely down at City Hall. The Verizon contract, which is in there today, is a rollover on a state piggyback. And I just want, if we're going to do business with Verizon and pick up these contracts, I have no problem with that. But let's get them to provide free internet to the folks who need it in our libraries and around. This contract should have been renegotiated, as everybody well knows, years ago. I'm talking about item 20, by the way. But I think it's time to move to my general public comment, because there's limits to what you can say on these items. The general public comment, are you there, sir? Is very specific, okay? Today, recently, I published an article about how the City Council has a kind of rotating wheel of retaliation, harassment, and discrimination. And there was a very specific platformed idea, which I think is a reasonable one, to make a collective bargaining issue one of the cases that was signed but has not been contractually finalized, to pay out a couple $1 million to the family who were abused by a cop at the cadet school. So it's very hard for even Mayor Garcetti or Mr. Ridley Thomas to blow hard in the space to clean up that mess. That has to be the officers themselves. So I just reiterate that the City Council and the mayor should get together and negotiate with the LAPPL and hit them in the pocket, $200 a kid. That means a police officer, a woman or man. And we'll move on from there. But I really think that it's long overdue. And this agenda, by the way, is treasonous to make all these items not speakable. You know people want to speak about item number 2 in the Olympics and how it's a weird, arrangement of our assets during such a weird period.
Thank you for your comments. Caller with the phone number ending in 4152, please press star 6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Yeah, hi, my name is Eric Sheehan. I'd like to speak on item 2, but it sounds like I may not, so I'll just take general if that's the case.
Yes, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Yeah, hi. My name is Eric Sheehan. I'm with Olympics LA. The Olympics historically have led to the militarization of the police and expansion of surveillance states at the expense of vulnerable populations time and time again, including during the LA 84 games. Now, COPSEC may offer LAPD a seat at the Olympic security table, but not you here on City Council. LAPD Chief Michael Moore will sit at that table. The city is demanding you defund the police, not give them official channels to collaborate with ICE. Most of you voted to make LA a so-called sanctuary city. How can you possibly approve COPSEC when its purpose is literally to collaborate with ICE and CBP? We must reject this LAPD expansion that's going to come with this. and kick this can down the road. There's absolutely no reason you need to do this now. This pretend hustle to get this approved 7 years before the games is absurd. There's no reason you need to approve this now, and there's no reason to do it at all. There's no way to do public safety properly with the Olympics. They will always lead to...
Thank you, Speaker.
Caller with the phone number ending in 5554, please press *6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Sean Murphy from Canoga Park.
Go ahead, Mr. Murphy.
I want to speak on item 21 in general public comment.
You have 2 minutes and followed by 1 minute. Please go ahead.
Item 21 on 4. We should do. I'm for item 21. General public comment.
Please go ahead.
Go ahead, Sean.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day to you too.
Yeah, the streets need to be repaid. DeSoto needs to be fixed up. It's cracked. That's about it. Thanks.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Caller with the phone number ending in 1148, please press *6. Caller with the phone number ending in 1148, please press *6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
I'd like to speak on the available item, please, and general public comment.
Sure, Speaker. So you have 2 minutes for items 21 and 22, followed by 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
Okay, thank you, sir. Welcome back from vacation, City Council. Apologize to Ms. Autry Martinez for your disrespect. Items 21 and 22 pretty much speaks for itself, although, well, they're extremely low units. All these units, 175, 173, are of course dedicated to extremely low income units. That in itself is a major achievement, even for this corrupt city council. Whereas in contrast, February 9th, items 8 and 9, the ANI project, you gave away 1,127 units, and 11 units out of the 1,100 were low income, supposedly low income. Ms. Rahman, that's a stain on you forever. Even 4 of the city council people, which never happens, voted no on that. Hopefully you'll do better. These units, the only thing about them, you have to demolish the whole building, which probably wouldn't be necessary. I haven't seen where the funding is coming from on this project. However, like all the other projects, like HHH, the money was blown from the beginning because it's only good for new construction. Well, this is new construction also on this project, whereas it eliminates all the other possibilities of existing hotels can be purchased, tiny units, to Krikorian's credit. He's the only one that I know of that put in these temporary units, although you do have something on the agenda today.
You can go on to general if you wish, Speaker.
Yes, thank you, sir. My general public comment is all planning and land use public. We must wrestle it from the city council. This is the bedrock of their corruption, along with vote trading. All votes today, like every other day, are yes votes. Why are they calling things special and all this other crap? Because they're campaigning. They're just talking. All votes are yes votes. So why are they showing up? I also move to adjourn in memory of the 3 to 8 homeless people that will die every day because of this Los Angeles sleazy council and their corruption. People's motion 21-0001, no city councilman can hold the office outside his current term if the homelessness is not reduced by 25% in their current term. This is what we must do to take our city back.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Speaker. Next speaker.
Caller with the phone number ending in 4024, please press star 6.
Good morning. Hello?
Yes, Speaker, which items do you want to speak on? Speaker, which items do you want to speak on? Speaker, are you there? All right, if you press star 6 if you want to talk. If not, we're going to move on to the next person.
Am I there now? Sir.
Hello?
Speaker.
Mommy, good morning, Mommy.
All right, Speaker, tell me what items you want to speak on right now.
Once again, item 21, item 22 in general public comments, sir.
Go ahead, Speaker. Stay on topic, please.
God damn, so fucking rude. Well, I can concur that yeah, the fair hearing, a little too far inconvenient. Mr. Previn was right.
So, Speaker, you're not on topic. Please get on item 21 or 22 right now, or we're going to cut you off.
I'm talking about the interesting buildings that we're building with 9 units and the other 18 units requiring that you follow the ADA 2010 standard for accommodations with people with service animals. Am I on topic? And what about Mr. Lamar and LA Diocese and the AEG who got those special perks under Jose Luis Huiza on that FBI investigation?
So, Speaker, you're still off topic. Why don't we send you to general public comment? Please begin.
Oh, so now you want to retaliate against me, sir? I want to talk about Verizon. Why can't I talk about Verizon?
You're in general public comment. Please start, Speaker, right now, or we're going to move on to the next person.
Okay, then let me do my general public comment, you fucking cock. Rotation and blow hard. Vote no for Joe Bullshit, Joey the Bucket for mayor? Fuck no. And what about your boss, asshole, who interrupted me? Fuck him too for mayor. And besides, this is all treason. Mr. Moises was right. All you're doing is campaigning for your fucking funding to build your own careers up and then climb the ladder like that jackass dumb Joe Biden, who took forever to give us our inoculation shots and to help us with our 2,000K fucking check, asshole. So fuck Pasadena. No parade. I'm upset. I'm very upset, Mommy. Nuri, you need to get on a diet, Mommy. I don't want you to die. You're so special. Look how fucking fat you are. You're special. You need that diet, Mommy. And as far as that
next speaker.
Caller with the phone number ending in 2281, please press star 6.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. What items would you like to speak on?
I'd like to make a general public comment.
Sure, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. My name is Naomi, and I'm a resident of Council District 14. And I just, I wanted to urge council to move forward with the planning and the construction of the temporary housing on the Figueroa parking lot. Of course, long-term housing would be ideal, but these shelters would still be so welcomed, and they would fulfill a really critical need for many of our neighbors who are facing health and safety risks that come with living unsheltered. I also urge you to include resources and services on site for future residents of this prospective shelter that would allow them a pathway to long-term housing. While temporary housing is wonderful, it's life-saving, the most humane and necessary outcome is a permanent roof over everyone's head where folks can live a life of dignity. And I just want to remind everyone, Measure HHH was passed over 4 years ago. Us taxpayers paid $1.2 billion and were promised 10,000 units of supportive housing, and only 165 million of that has been spent, and 60% of all approved projects haven't even started construction. So this proposed shelter is so critical,
Thank
and
you,
I
Speaker.
commend Councilman De Leon, but we need more than temporary housing too. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Caller with the phone number ending in 5161, please press *6. Caller with the phone number ending in 5161, please press *6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
My name is Molly Lambert, and I'm speaking public comment.
Sure, please go ahead. You have a minute.
It is totally unconscionable to approve more policing for the Olympics, especially because it would be directly in conjunction with ICE. We have a lot of problems in Los Angeles, and none of them are that we need more policing or that we need to have the Olympics. As we're thinking about how we can protect immigrants in this city and protect vulnerable people and undocumented people, we have to not approve more police and not approve a national special security event for the Olympics. It's a completely dangerous idea that will just harm people. That's my time.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Caller with the phone number ending in 7543, please press *6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Hi, good morning. My name is Lionel from Council District number 6. Good morning, Council President and Council members. I'd like to make a general public comment, if I may.
Please.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Calling to discuss about reopening public schools because the schools have been shut down, even colleges and universities, and I've been struggling not being able to go to a library because for me, that's my sanctuary. I like being at the library and reading and studying, and it's been really hard on me and for so many students out there, even college and graduate students are struggling to study and stay focused because we're not in the library. So in a way, when we're in a library, we're able to focus and think. And I think that we should speed up reopening the schools. And second, I just read a report by City Controller Ron Scaparan about the inequalities or inequity that he discussed about the gender gap between women and men. He stated that
thank you, Speaker.
that women are.
Next speaker.
*4578, please press *6. Caller with the phone number ending in 4578, please press *6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Hi, good morning. My name is Hamid Khan, and I'd like to speak on item 2 in general comments.
Sure, please go ahead.
Well, thank you. So, Council, today you have in front of you a matter that will have a profound impact on the city of Los Angeles for generations to come. This is about the not only the establishment of the California Olympic and Paralympic Public Safety Command Center, but also about the Olympics themselves in 2028. We're seeing the aftermath of that 40 years later from 1984 as to how the whole policing configuration, how the infrastructural configuration was changed, and what happened as a result of that. What we have seen is a massive expansion of the police state, massive expansion of the surveillance state, massive removal of people, and people are even arguing that the result of homelessness that we see today was that how the undesirables were removed, how gang databases and gang injunctions were created. So this is something which will have a profound impact. This is a great responsibility. And what we are calling for that is that, rather than creating these command centers where you bring in.
Thank you, Speaker. The next speaker?
Caller with the phone number ending in 8672, please press star 6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Hi, my name is Gia Lappi, and I'd like to speak on item 2 and general public comment.
So item 2 is not open for public comment, but you're perfectly free to talk about it in general public comment. So why don't we give you a minute for general? Please go ahead.
Okay, well, I that was misleading, I think, at the beginning, but all right. I cannot fathom how you can sit before your constituents and claim to represent anything close to democracy or quote unquote sanctuary or care, period, honestly, while contemplating the approval of something like COPSEC. Approving COPSEC means bringing in national troops. It means bringing in ICE, CBP, the DOD, and granting them further legitimacy and control over residents of the city who are already scared, who are already vulnerable, who are working tirelessly to care for their families and bring you alfresco dining and very little else. Like, we got no vote on this, and there's no way anyone with a moral conscience could, in this climate, approve a quote unquote public safety command, which again, great word, command. This feels super public, by the way, super democratic.
Thank you, Speaker.
Caller with a phone number ending in 1125, please press star 6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
My name is Johnny. I'd like to speak on general comment, please.
You have a minute. Please begin.
Yeah, to reiterate what everyone else here has said today in regards to the Olympic policing items, we know that there are significant concerns about Olympic policing from communities around the city and the county and outside of the county, which this project spills outside of. We've been speaking and working with them for the past 4 years, every week, every month. We're all volunteers. We know that there are tons of concerns across the board from sex workers, street vendors, immigrants, unhoused folks, renters. That's a majority of this city and this county. And we know that these concerns are being heard in City Hall right now. We know there are significant concerns on your end. And we feel like it's totally backwards to be rubber stamping something and then asking the important questions later. We need to be doing the opposite. The whole Olympic process forces us into these situations over and over and over again, where we're on an artificial deadline based on the IOC, who is 9 time zones away and does not have our interests at heart. So time to get serious. Let's vet this. Cancel COPSEC. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Next speaker.
Caller with the phone number ending in 6086, please press star 6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Maro Kakusian for item 6.
So we'll give you general public comment since 6 isn't open. So you have a minute. Please begin.
Thank you. My name is Maro Kakusian, and I'm with Physicians for Social Responsibility Los Angeles and the LA LEAP Coalition. I just want to start by applauding Council Member Koretz and his office for their tireless work on the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office and Commission. They worked in partnership with LA LEAP over the last couple of years on this project, which really aims to center the voices of frontline communities hit first and worst by climate impacts and ensures low-income and frontline communities of color are prioritized in the city's accelerated climate and resilience responses. Thank you to Council President Martinez, Councilmember Blumenfield, and the Mayor as well for your ongoing support. And I want to encourage the City Council to vote to formalize the creation of the CEMO and Commission. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, caller. Next speaker.
Caller with the phone number ending in 5318, please press star 6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Hi, my name is Gina Viola, and I'd like to give general public comment.
You have a minute. Please begin.
I'm with White People for Black Lives, and I'd like to support the other callers here today. COPSIC, like all aspects of the Olympic process, is fundamentally undemocratic. Why are we rushing this vote? Thank you so much, Councilmember Rahman, for calling it special. There's no oversight, transparency, or anything in this process. It's just going to end in more police, more federal agencies, more surveillance that'll be ingrained into multiple areas of our city and in general Southern California for years to come. Furthering what Hamid Khan said, part of what we're experiencing today with this homeless crisis and the houseless people living on the street in huge numbers is in part remnants of the '84 Olympics. This is the opposite of defunding the police. This is the police on steroids. This is the Department of Defense. This is the Army. This is not an exaggeration. We have to put a stop to this, and we have to create some kind of oversight to dig into this deeper. We can't, City Council can't afford to sit idly by waiting to see how this will shake out. This is Olympic policing history.
Thank you, Speaker. Next speaker.
Caller with a phone number ending in 1541, please press *6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Hi there, my name is Emily Parker, and I'd like to speak on general public comment.
Go ahead, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, and good morning, council members. My name is Emily, and I'm the coastal marine scientist at Heal the Bay and the co-chair of the Reusable LA Coalition. And I'd first like to thank council members Krikorian and Correct for their continued leadership on waste reduction. I strongly support today's motion to draft a foodware accessories upon request ordinance in the city of Los Angeles. Plastic pollution has been a serious problem for decades, and as a fossil fuel product, single-use plastics contribute to climate change and pollution from their manufacturing and disposal, and this disproportionately impacts low-income communities and communities of color. COVID-19 has only made things worse, with single-use plastics increasing as much as 300% in the last year. And not only that, but our local restaurants are hanging on by a thread, and nearly 100 have closed due to COVID. Restaurants in the U.S. spend $19 billion on disposable foodware every year, much of which is given to customers who don't need it, and it's then thrown away without ever being used. An opt-in ordinance just makes sense. It's a win-win-win for our businesses, our communities, and our environment, and it saves restaurants money and reduces waste. I urge you all to vote yes on this motion today. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Caller with the phone number ending in 4022, please press *6. Caller with the phone number ending in 4022, please press *6. Caller with the phone number ending in 1312, please press *6. Please state your name and the item you'd like to speak on.
Good morning. My name is Alex Jassett, and I'd like to offer general public comment, please.
You have a minute. Please begin.
So I'm calling on behalf of Physicians for Social Responsibility Los Angeles and the LEAP Coalition to express my support for the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office. The CEMO is a crucial and necessary tool in our fight against climate change, and by centering the voices of low-income communities and communities of color in the policy co-creation, we can ensure that the city policy is implemented equitably. And going forward, I would urge you all to increase funding for the crucial office so that it's able to do the job that it was set out to do. And I thank all of the members of the council who have supported it thus far. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Okay, that concludes public comment for this portion of the agenda. We're going to reopen public comment, Mr. City Attorney, for item 19. Is that correct?
We're going to open it only for the appellants and the applicants.
Thank you very much for clearing that up. Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and vote on items 21 and 22. Go ahead and call the roll.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Bonin.
Bonin, aye.
Buscaino.
Aye.
Cedillo. Councilmember Cedillo.
Aye.
De Leon.
Aye.
Harris Dawson.
Yes.
Koretz.
Aye.
Krikorian.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Farrell.
Aye.
Price.
Aye.
Rahman. Councilmember Rahman.
Aye.
Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
15 ayes. These items are adopted.
Okay, let's go on to item number 2. This was called special by several members. Mr. O'Farrell?
Thank you, Madam President. First, some background on this item today, item 2. Colleagues, in 2019, the governor approved Assembly Bill 1754, which directed the California Office of Emergency Services, known as Cal-OES, to establish the California Olympic and Paralympic Public Safety Command Cooperative. And they entered into an MOU with LA 2028 in January of this year. However, in AB 1754, signed into law, there was no mention of the city of Los Angeles in this state bill. But Cal-OES and LA 2028 think that the city should be a part of it and sought city participation, and the ad hoc committee in the 2028 Olympic Games that I chair, we agree. It makes no sense that we would be shut out of any discussion regarding safety and security of the Olympic and Paralympic Games that we are taking the enormous responsibility of hosting. If we did not insert ourselves into this conversation, we would in fact have no oversight whatsoever. So this is an assertion of our oversight as it relates to safety and security of the Olympic Games and Paralympic Games that Los Angeles will host in 2028. The cooperative will facilitate the planning, resourcing, management, and delivery of safety for the 2028 Games and shall identify areas for planning. Co-chairpersons of the cooperative include Cal-OES Homeland Security Advisor, the LA Chief of Police or Fire, or such other individuals as appointed by the LA Mayor and confirmed by the City Council. So there are several more additional steps of council oversight before anything is finalized. The agreement also establishes an executive council of the cooperative, which is responsible for an action plan and subcommittees. Unanimous consent is required by the city, Cal-OES, and LA 2028 for various actions, such as all costs, obligations, funding requests, etc. Funding is not currently identified for the cooperative's activities costs, but anticipated the cooperative will prepare a request for federal grant funding. The 2028 Games are likely to be considered a national special security event, which will require a series of special safety considerations like the U.S. Secret Service becoming the lead federal agency. That is something that was decided years ago when we agreed. And so what we have before us is the opportunity to have a seat at this table and incorporate the city of Los Angeles into this MOU with the California Office of Emergency Services and LA 2028. It's not only an opportunity, but an imperative that we affirm our necessity to have a seat at the table in relation to the security and safety of these games. There will be lots more deliberation on the details of this cooperation to come, but there is a deadline. And I understand that we have Mr. John Wickham from the CLA's office to provide more details about this item. So Mr. Wickham, if you are on.
Mr. O'Farrell, give me just a second. I have to allow him to come in. Hold on for just a second. Mr. Wickham, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Great.
go ahead,
Thank
Mr.
you.
O'Farrell.
Thank you, Madam President. So Mr. Wickham has been involved in this and reported to the ad hoc committee in detail when we met last. So Mr. Wickham, if you could please elaborate on the decision that is before us today and the associated deadline, because there is a deadline. And then further elaborate on future benchmarks that must be met in relation to this cooperation agreement.
Okay, so AB 1754, so John Wickham with the Office of the Chief Legislative Analyst, good morning. AB 1754 required that Cal OES and LA 28 enter into an MOU to create the cooperative by January 31st. That was the requirement under state law, and Cal OES and LA 28 met that requirement. They entered into an MOU which already exists. So the cooperative has been created. The Cal OES and LA 28 understood that the city of Los Angeles, as the host city, should be part of that effort and requested that the city join the cooperative in a leadership capacity. And so a draft MOU was crafted that would set up an organizational structure that included the city of Los Angeles in the management structure of the cooperative. So that is what is before you right now, is this, this next MOU that brings the city of Los Angeles into the cooperative equally with Cal OES and LA 28. The document is structured so that all of the parties will have an equal vote, that if all of the parties in this management team do not agree, then something will not move forward. So it is definitely set up to be a cooperative and collaborative process. At this point, it's simply the state and state entities and agencies, cities, et cetera, who are in the region who will be involved with security. The MOU has a 60-day time limit for the city of Los Angeles to decide whether it would step into this management leadership role collaboratively with Cal OES and LA 28. So if, so the first MOU was executed January 31st, 60 days from that is about March 31st. And so the city has until about March 31st to decide whether it wants to step into this leadership role. If we decline that option, then it's not, we would have to figure out what our role in any future collaboration with the state would be. And we haven't pursued that discussion yet because this is still in front of you for a decision.
Thank you, John. When we unanimously agreed to host the 2028 Olympics a few years back, we knew that we were taking on an enormous challenge and opportunity. We also knew that we were determined to make the most of it, to have it to be the safest, most successful Olympics in world history. And this is part of that obligation to make sure that we don't forfeit our seat at the table as it relates to safety and security. Hosting a massive event like this requires a lot of responsibility that we have accepted. So this is a step, I think, along that path, knowing that the Olympics really need to have incredible cooperation between local, state, and federal authorities, especially as it relates to international and domestic terrorism threats. So we know that a massive undertaking like the Olympic Games or other world events, and we do this every year with the Academy Awards, with other events in the city of Los Angeles. Our expertise at hosting these world-renowned events are going to be critical in how we can protect the safety of all who attend the games, specifically the general public, not to mention Angelenos and residents of this city, and of course the athletes and the international community. So it is a massive responsibility. And so, Madam President, I appreciate the chance, and I think Mr. Wickham is here to answer any questions that colleagues may have.
Yes, I have two other members on the queue on this item. Ms. Rahman, followed by Mr. Bonin.
Thank you so much, President Martinez, and thank you to Councilmember O'Farrell for your work on this. I really appreciate the perspectives you shared right now and the care that you bring to making sure that this is a safe event. Thank you, Mr. Wickham, as well for your inputs. I really just wanted to ask a couple of questions about this, and I had reached out to the city attorney beforehand to get some of these questions answered, and unfortunately they weren't able to be answered before this meeting, and I wanted to share some of those questions and concerns today with you. Essentially, this MOU enters us into this, broader cooperative, which really organizes our decision-making around public safety at the Olympics, including this question of designating it as a national special security event. In the MOU, though, there are still some questions that for me remained unanswered, which I think are important to answer. For example, how many representatives will the city have on this executive committee? And how are those representatives going to be selected? Will those representatives have the authority to make decisions on behalf of the city, or will they have to afterwards seek authorization from the mayor or the council for the decisions that they're making? Does this MOU obligate the city to seek that NSSC designation, or is that something that's that committee can consider at a later time? And if the city joins the MOU, and this for me, I think was the most important question, especially given that, we just left 4 years under Trump, and a lot of fear around immigrants' rights, what are ways in which the city can really put into place very, very strong guardrails to make sure that our immigrant communities here are protected from interventions from ICE and CBP? I know that's something that the city has talked about a lot. I think every member here has talked about it in various motions before the council in the past. I didn't get answers to those questions before this meeting today, and I would love to get those answers before entering into this kind of agreement. So that's really those are the concerns that I wanted to share and the questions that I had reached out beforehand to ask. So thank you so much again for the opportunity to speak on this, and I appreciate all your work.
Thank you, Ms. Rahman. Mr. Bonin?
Thanks, Madam President. Thank you, Mr. O'Farrell and Ms. Rahman and Mr. Wickham. A couple questions, but first just a thought or an observation. This council and a very large part of the city enthusiastically embraced hosting the Olympics. Seeing it as an opportunity to showcase the best of Los Angeles, the diversity and the strength of the city, to bring to Los Angeles an international spirit of cooperation, and be part of something that is really an amazing event. At the same time, this council and a large part of the city has spoken about and worked on and prioritized a lot of things like standing up for our immigrant community, standing up for civil liberties, reimagining public safety. There are ways in which those two things are in potentially stark contrast. And I think a lot of us knew that when we entered into this agreement, and expressed hope and optimism and a lot of faith that there was going to be a way to reconcile those things. And I'm beginning to wonder how we do that and when we do that, what the time will be and what the mechanism will be. And this seems to be a time in which to do that. I think it's important to note that the Olympics, even in Los Angeles, while they have had some tremendous impacts, have also had some very negative consequences. I wasn't in Los Angeles in 1984, but I certainly know from everybody who was here that it is looked back on by so many people fondly as one of the great moments in Los Angeles' history. But it is also looked back on as one of the really dark and ugly chapters in Los Angeles' history, as a time that gave birth to a lot of really brutal policing, that gave birth to Operation Hammer, and gave birth to a lot of things that we are struggling to undo now, and to make up for it now as we talk about reimagining public safety. So I'm really trying to figure out when we get to see if there's a way that we can safeguard the things that we say we hold dear. And I'm afraid frankly, that we're going to go through a lot of process, and we will hear that this is not the time to do that. That time will come later, and then we're going to get to some later point, and it's going to be, what we're going to hear is, it's too late to do that. We're too far along. And so I just want to ask, Mr. Wickham, I would feel much more comfortable with this MOU if we had built into it some of the safeguards that we are talking about, that we enter into this MOU saying to our partners at the state and federal level, this is our city, and there are certain things that we hold dear. Why didn't we put that into this MOU, or was it presented to us as, hey, sign this or you're out of luck?
My understanding, because we asked questions along those lines at numerous times, the cooperative itself does not give away any city authority whatsoever to any other entity at all. It is simply allowing the city to join in conversations with the state and LA 28 in planning for the Olympics. The other concern that we had was the NSSE designation, and the information we received was that the NSSE designation, again, does not override local public safety policy in any way, shape, or form. So in the ways that we tested those questions, we were assured that this is not giving away any of the city's ability to set its own path on public safety in the future, and it was not seen as a major concern in that area.
Yeah, I'm skeptical about that, because, all right, that may mean that the feds can't tell us LAPD has to enforce immigration law, but it also doesn't mean that we have an ability to say that as we do this, we don't want other agencies that are operating here in an event that we're sponsoring to be doing mass arrests of people who are undocumented and detaining them or deporting them, right? I mean, the agreement says that nothing in the agreement changes the rules that any other agency operates under. We operate under the rules that we aren't going to enforce certain immigration provisions, but some of them operate under the understanding that they will. So we're entering into this knowing that ICE and CBP are going to be doing what ICE and CBP do, right?
The federal government is not a party to this cooperative agreement.
Okay, but at what point do we get to weigh in and say that in the huge, massive security apparatus that's going to get created, there are things that are important to Los Angeles that we want to protect? Because there is some conflict there, even with this administration.
Yeah, and those are conversations that are, I mean, there is no infrastructure set up right now. The intent of the cooperative is to start having those conversations and start moving that forward. And so it would be part of those conversations moving forward where these issues would be raised. You would be able to have those conversations with the state and other local public safety officials, so that when you get to the point of the NSSE, you will be able to have clear objectives and policies on how you expect those interactions to move forward.
But that requires unanimous consent to do that. I'm trying to figure out how we get to assert our leverage as the host city to stand up for what this city holds dear and believes in. If we have this unanimous consent thing that starts from no agreement on certain principles that are important to Los Angeles, and we say we want to have provisions in place to make sure that there are no mass detentions or deportations of people who are undocumented in Los Angeles, anybody can veto that, right?
I guess we were looking at it from the opposite direction, that if somebody proposed mass, whatever actions, that the city could say, no, that's not going to move forward, right?
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on how it gets initiated.
Right.
Because law enforcement, I think some of the other agencies are going to assume they operate the way they do. And so they're not going to ask for permission to do that for us to veto. And that's sort of where my concern is. I guess my question is, I know we have this March 31 deadline, and we haven't put this stuff in there, which would make me much more comfortable. I'm just wondering, we're the host city. Do we not have the leverage to go back to them and say, you know what, we want more safeguards in there, and we'd like a little more time? Because if we do have that leverage, I'd like to use it. If we don't have that leverage, then I'm sort of concerned about what leverage we will have going forward to stand up for what we want to stand up for.
So again, this was obligated under state law, under AB 1754, and the cooperative already exists. It has already been created. And so in terms of whatever leverage there might be, we would have to have conversations, see now, would they provide more time beyond March 31st in order to discuss further what the MOU could say on this subject matter? They might provide that information. Another option would be to enter into the MOU as it stands now, and with the city at the table with the other partners in the cooperative, use that as the opportunity to ask for and insert those concerns into the discussion from the very beginning, rather than waiting to see whether there would be opportunities later on.
Yeah, I'm afraid to jump in without having some of those things in place. I see there's other folks on the queue, so I'll close for now. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Bonin. Mr. De Leon?
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Mr. Wickham, for coming in. And thank you, Mr. Bonin, for the thorough questioning. Let me say, it's no secret that this city is at an inflection point when it comes to public safety and researching a different type of policing alternatives, and especially how we deal with our unhoused community members. We know that other host countries have faced very stark criticism for the way it has dealt locally with its residents, in particular Brazil. So with the Olympics coming to town and all the subsequent public safety systems that we develop, the implications of certain decisions are going to come to a head, no doubt, and they may even run into conflict with some perhaps outdated models. But it's also a real opportunity to showcase a holistic system that we can move forward to protect our own citizens. I think it's imperative that folks understand that the city has a real opportunity here to design the kind of public safety system that we want and implement it on a grand scale for 2028. So entering in an MOU with numerous entities now is not the time to sit back and be driven by how other systems should run our system, when I think we know best what's best for our constituents. So I am looking forward to the leadership as we move forward, so we can exhibit what our collective values are as Angelenos when it comes to true public safety measures. Now, let me be very clear. The LA 28 bid book from 2017 says customs and border protection will be one of the key forces used for policing the Olympic venues. In 2019, LA declared itself a sanctuary city. I have made State of California a sanctuary state. We know what ICE means specifically for a city like Los Angeles. Let me be very clear that 50% of the city is Latino. A good number of those individuals are immigrants. A good number of those non-immigrant Latinos and people of color have direct relationships, first, second generation, but they have immigrants within their family. This is going to be the biggest venue in 2028. My question is, what is the role of Customs and Border Protection under Homeland Security, number one, within the task force of COPSEC? Is ICE part of this operation? If they are, then we're going to have a real big problem, especially with me. This is going to be a major problem if ICE is part of this operation, because ICE is has become highly politicized, in particular with the last administration. or it's been weaponized as a law enforcement institution to rip, young babies out of the arms of their mothers. So is ICE part of this task force? And what is the specific role of Customs and Border Protection?
So this is, again, a state cooperative. It's only Cal OES, LA 28, and the City of Los Angeles proposed at this moment, and other regional public safety entities would join at this moment. Federal agencies like ICE are not involved at this time. The federal agencies would be involved when we reach the point of entering into an NSSE, National Special Security Event.
So, John, let me ask the question then. I may be perhaps looking at something that's old and outdated. I'm looking at a chart of the COPSEC command, and it has here the venue cities, local police, the FBI, U.S. Secret Service, FEMA, U.S. military, National Guard, Coast Guard, FAA, Department of Homeland Security, private security, intel agencies, venue cities, fire and ambulance, and I also have border and customs. I may be looking at some old data, and that if I am, please correct me. I'm just referring to this chart that's right here. And I think Ms. Rahman made reference to, if we do have these certain federal agencies, what is their role specifically, and what guardrails will we have in place? But you're saying right now we haven't entered into any type of agreement with any federal entities as of yet.
No, and you have an advantage over me. I've never seen that chart. It's never been part of any of the conversations we've had. I don't know who generated the chart. Okay. So if I had a copy of it, I might be able to provide more comment on that.
Okay.
The other thing to note, and I think that might be helpful to understand, is the NSSE is a designation that's used for major political events such as presidential inaugurations and State of the Union speeches, international events of those kinds of natures. It's also used for the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl will be held in Los Angeles in 2022, next year. So that will be an opportunity for the city to understand how an NSSE operates in the region very soon. The NSSE designation was actually in place for the 2000 National Democratic Convention that was held at the Staples Center. So there has been an experience with that in the region in the past. And I'm not sure if the NSSE will be in place for the 2026 World Cup as well, if there are events held in Los Angeles for that. So what we're looking at in terms of the NSSE is there will be opportunities in the future to have experience with the way the federal government engages with state and local public safety officials, learn from those experiences, and integrate that into our work going forward with the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games.
Well, thank you for bringing up that the NSSC will be involved with the upcoming Super Bowl in our neighboring city, Inglewood, and I think that gives the CLA, the CAO's office, LAPD, other local law enforcement agencies, but in particular the governance side of the legislative branch of the city of Los Angeles, a real potentially in-depth opportunity to look at the way that operation works and the roles and functions and what the possible expanded version will be for Olympics, which is going to be gargantuan in scope and size in comparison to the Super Bowl or the World Cup. Two very large venues, but the Olympics will be 10x, I would imagine, in every which way. Again, one thing that I'd ask is you, Mr. Wickham, and I think there's a lot of folks who do collectively feel this. Ms. Rahman, originally brought up the point is the potential role of CPB within this central command COPSEC, for lack of a better, term or terminology, and just a red flag. Again, if there is a potential for ICE to be involved, given the sensitivity of a city like Los Angeles and our great diversity, and also the sordid history that ICE has in many of our districts, intervening and being a law enforcement institution that has been highly weaponized and politicized by the executive branch of the past, not the present, but noting that those memories still linger very deeply in our communities. One thing I just want to note also too, and not for right now, we can talk offline for a future, meeting, is also to, this COPSEC structure, who will be in charge? You got our chief of police, Michael Moore. You got the county sheriffs, OES, as you made reference to, Office of Emergency Service, that representing the state of California. Is it going to be one of those, does it have the potential to be one of those scenarios where everyone's in charge yet no one is in charge, ultimately? And how is that distributed? That's just something I think to sort of not footnote, but just put up on the wall for a future conversation. I do want to thank, Mitchell Farrell, for bringing this issue up, because it's right. We need to have a seat at the table, and without having a seat at the table would be the height of absurdity, without question. So I think the questions that the members bring up are good, thorough questions. They're concerns with regards to expansion, obviously, of police forces and monitoring of citizens, and what does that mean specifically? Is it justified and rationalized, for 2028 for any domestic or international threats? These are very serious, concerns that I think should be thoroughly discussed. I think there should be on the table. We want a safe Olympics. I know there's folks who don't want the Olympics at all, period, and I'm respectful of their perspective as well too. But Mr. Farrell, I thank you very much, for bringing this issue up to all of us. Mr. Wickham, thank you very much also.
Thank you, Mr. DeLone. I have a few more others on the queue. Mr. Bonin? No, Mr. Bonin?
Yep, thanks, Madam President.
Sorry.
Just another question for Mr. Wickham. Thank you, Mr. De Leon, for mentioning seat at the table. I agree, it's extremely important we have a seat at the table. The thing that concerns me is we're the host, so I kind of feel like we should be the host of the table, not the guest at the table. And this feels like we're the guest asking for permission. What I'd like to know, Mr. Wickham, is there a precise point procedurally or chronologically where we get to say that these are things we do not want Customs and Border Protection or ICE to do? And if there is that point, when is it? And is it a point where we get to ask, or is it a point where we get to dictate?
Yeah, since those are federal agencies, the NSSE, as I understand, will come in much later in the process. We're talking about 2028 for the games. The NSSE will come in a couple years in advance of that. So we're several years away from that level of involvement of federal agencies. And I would actually probably defer to the city attorney in regard to the city's ability to tell the federal government how it will run its business. I don't think that we typically have a lot to say in that area, but we will have to look and see how that would work. The primary work in doing all of this collaboration in the front end is really over the next 4 or 5 years, where we, as this city of Los Angeles and LA 28 are sorting out these details. And just to jump back to Mr. De Leon's question, and I believe to Councilwoman Ramon's question, the Executive Council is comprised of 3 parties: the City of Los Angeles, Cal OES, and LA 28, period. There are entities that are set in that Executive Council. And there was something else associated with it that I've lost my train of thought. So
I asked how many reps we had on that council. Like how many
only
reps in the city?
each body only has one representative on the body, on the executive council and on the council as a whole. However, there will be a lot of staff who will be participating in those processes. So as going forward, I imagine that it's not just going, oh, I remember what it was. It's not just that the chair from the representative from the city of Los Angeles, we will be at those meetings. You will have all of your public safety departments participating in those meetings to whatever extent is necessary, as well as the CLA and the CAO and other city departments to ensure that you have broad city participation and understanding what's going on. Just to the point of the city representative, the MOU states that it could be the chief of police, it could be a representative from LAPD, it could be a representative from LAFD, the fire department, or somebody else that the mayor selects. So it doesn't have to be the chief of police. It could be whomever the mayor selects. Whoever the mayor selects has to be confirmed by the city council. And we have all of the processes in place for an appointment consistent with the city charter itself. So it's clear that the council has a very active role in that process of making the selection to the cooperative.
Thanks. Given what you said, Mr. Wickham, I'd feel a lot more comfortable, given that there's not a real time certain where we can say what really is essential and definitive to us. I'd feel a lot more comfortable if entering into this MOU, we were agreeing with Cal OES and LA 28 that these are things that are essential and determinative for Los Angeles. Thanks.
Mr. Harris Dawson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. O'Farrell, for bringing up this issue with the care that you have and all the members that have raised questions and concerns, and Mr. Wickham for providing information. I wanted to provide some, frankly, testimony and less questions. I was an adolescent in the city of Los Angeles when the Olympics came last time, and I remember that period about being very proud that the Olympics were here, but I also remember that's when Operation Hammer started. And all of a sudden your parents are telling you not to be outside after 6, not because of gangs or because of crime, but because of the police. So the Olympics open up a door for law enforcement agencies to pursue things that might not be supported in a regular setting. And I just want to register and agree with my colleagues that we need to, since we have that history, we need to be out front about that. And so I'm uncomfortable with us approaching any kind of coalition in a benign way, saying, well, yeah, we want to be a part of this and we'll sign anything that we need to be a part of it. We need to come to the table with a position. So, you know, and I don't know what venue we do that. I appreciate the questions that Mr. Bonin has raised. I would really appreciate hearing back something definitive about when we intervene. But there's no reason why we need to send any signal as a city that we need Border Patrol in Los Angeles during a time when we're supposed to be welcoming the world. Like there's no need for that. And we need to assert that on the front end, I believe, rather than waiting till they get here and say, well, no, we didn't want that. I just think we need to be more forceful and out front about our vision for public safety during this time, because after what we saw at the Capitol on January 6th, what we just saw last night or this morning in Atlanta, and frankly, the last time the Olympics were in the United States, in the city of Atlanta, the public safety problems didn't come from people who were immigrants. And they didn't come from people in neighborhoods like South LA. They came from other interests, and law enforcement was not in front of that. And so I just hope that we have, when the time is right, and we have confidence in the folks who are representing the city at these tables, when the time is right, we need to take a bold and assertive stance around our public safety vision for the Olympics in our city. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Cedillo.
So the answer is every day in every forum. The question was asked, when's the appropriate time to raise concerns about ICE? I've spent 50 years of my life fighting ICE in its various forms. Let me say this to you. ICE is a problem and needs to be eliminated. It's a rogue agency at this moment. It's running contrary to the leadership we have in the White House. But I have yet to see from the White House the clear demarcations from not just the Trump administration, but from the Obama administration, from the massive deportations that took place, and from the incarceration of children. So ICE doesn't have a place here from our perspective, from our viewpoint, from our values. But legally, as the President Pro Tem told me once, the fact of the matter is it's a federal agency. And so it runs different from the local jurisdiction and from the state jurisdiction. And so that's the challenge we have. It's a challenge that will require us to make sure that the people advising the president and that the president are people who are pro-immigrant and believe that immigration is still the core value of this nation. That is strictly our work, and it's something that we have to pursue every day. We have to make sure that it's not another Trump or Trump. We have to make sure it's not Stephen Miller or Kordash or all the fascists that were surrounded around that cabal that guided the president and resulted in that insurrection that Mr. Harris Dawson just noted. That's our work and that's our daily work. And so this is a fruitful discussion, but frankly, it's a discussion that we have to be realistic about. We can say we don't want ICE, but it's a federal agency. And so our impact on the federal agency isn't for us to make some type of determination with ourselves, but to actually create the political framework in which ICE is eliminated. And I think that we should, and I think the president and the White House, and there should be a complete restructuring as we go forward, as Senator Padilla yesterday talked about his immigration reform for essential workers. As we go forward and reform immigration, clearly the agencies that administer that should be reformed and that ICE should be eliminated. And so let me invite all of you to join in that conversation and not simply wait for the agenda item, but that this is a matter that we should take up each and every day with our interactions in every governing entity, every forum, every platform that we are fortunate to have. Thank you, Madam.
Mr. O'Farrell, to close.
Joining the MOU allows the council to participate in setting that agenda rather than letting other people set the agenda for you.
I trust me, I embrace that and have used every forum given to us for that opportunity. And much to well, I'll just leave it at that. I've used every opportunity in my life to press those issues of children at the border, to press those issues with E-Verify, to press those issues with incarceration, both with Democratic and Republican administrations.
Thank you, Mr. Cedillo. Mr. O'Farrell, to close.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, I think this conversation exhibits exactly what our fortitude is in asserting our place at the table, whereas Ms. Rahman talked about when she followed up the conversation after I spoke at first about the guardrails, about making sure that we exhibit the values that the city represents every step of the way. And to Mr. Cedillo's point, having these conversations every day, in every forum, in every format, in anything remotely associated with the 2028 games. That's how we use our power as a city, and we should not underestimate that power of persuasion nor power of decision-making on this executive council. And I think that is the opportunity that we have here. And it's interesting, Mr. Harris Dawson, because when Ms. Rahman began speaking, I wrote the word assertion. This is an opportunity for us to assert what our values are in how we exert oversight of safety and security of the games. And so I really appreciate this conversation, but I will say this: if we vote against asserting this right for a seat at the table, then we forfeit our ability to influence this approach entirely. We have the power, we have the influence, we can exhibit our values every step of the way in this cooperative that, by the way, already exists. So colleagues, I urge that we not forfeit our opportunity to play a leading role on this cooperative and forfeit our ability to exert oversight in the coming months and years. So I ask for your aye vote. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Wickham.
Thank you, Mr. O'Farrell. Ms. Rahman? Ms. Rahman?
I wanted to ask whether some of the questions that we've asked here, is there an opportunity to still put some of those guardrails into the MOU? Can we talk about having additional representatives from the host city on this committee? Can we talk about making sure that we determine the ability of ICE or other federal agencies to not enter into LA? And can that be spelled out in this MOU before we sign on to it? Because the concerns I have is that the MOU is not very specific on those questions, and that lack of specificity really does concern me.
Mr. Wickham, can you answer Ms. Rahman's question?
Yes, I'm sorry. The questions that you had originally were never provided to our office, so I wasn't able to see those, and I'm not quite sure what the details are on all of those. I think we did cover some of them in the conversation here in council this morning. With regard to changing the structure of the MOU, the executive council, or the way the whole cooperative is structured, if the council has other alternatives that you would like us to go back with, that would be a vote of the council. You could certainly instruct us to go back and do that. With regard to the guardrails, if it may be that the questions that you had provided some of the details, and I think the conversation in council today certainly provides a lot of information on how to approach that. So the question is whether the council wants us to go back and include more of that detail in the MOU now, or pursue that at a later date. And so these are options in front of the council today.
All right, members, seeing no other members on the queue, we're going to go ahead and vote on this item. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on item number 2.
Councilmember Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Bonin.
Bonin, no.
Buscaino.
Aye.
Cedillo.
Aye.
De Leon.
Aye.
Harris Dawson.
Yes.
Koretz.
Aye.
Krikorian.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Farrell.
Aye.
Price.
Aye.
Rahman.
No.
Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
Excuse me? That was a no for the record.
For who?
Oh, excuse me. Ridley Thomas was aye.
That is correct.
Thank you. Rodriguez.
Aye.
13 ayes, 2 noes. The item is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Next item is item number 4, called special by Mr. Cedillo for comments.
And Madam President, before we do that, let me just say I've had some questions about item 19, so let me just repeat to avoid confusion with the public.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Mr. City Attorney. Item number 19?
Yes, I've had some questions about it, so I just want to inject here so to avoid confusion. So I understand the phone lines are blocked now. At a later point in the meeting, I'll announce that the appellants and the applicants should dial in at that time. Then you'll get through. We'll hear from the, just to make clear, we'll hear from the public later, but the next thing we're going to do with it is the appellant and the applicant, or the appellants and applicant.
Okay.
Then the public after that.
Okay, maybe this will help. I'm going to go through the remaining items that members have called special, which is 4, 6, 7, 8, and 12. After we're done with item number 12, we will go into the fair hearing on item number 19.
That's perfect. Thank you,
So we
Madam.
move through these items quickly. We can get to 19 as soon as we can. But
Okay,
that'll be
thanks,
the last
Madam
item on the agenda, okay? Thank you. Mr. Cedillo, you called item number 4 special? Mr. Cedillo?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you for that admonishment and for your leadership on this matter. Item 4 is it's a matter on a question of rent freeze. As you know, I have been clamoring about the perils of the expiring covenants and how that as we all work collectively to help build housing and affordable housing and all types of housing for the residents of Los Angeles, that there is this danger that there is possible 10,000 units will come to the end of the covenants. And unless we're able to extend those covenants, purchase those buildings to replace those units, we won't make progress. And so what we've done is come up with something that we believe will hold us in place in this area. And this is that we've asked for the department to develop recommendations and options for these tenants to relocate to comparable low-income affordable housing units, to find potential funding options to extend the availability of these covenants citywide to avoid widespread displacement, and to continue to hold in place essentially the affordability status and hold in place the tenants so that they're not adversely impacted through no fault of their own as these covenants come to the end of their term. So that's essentially what we've done. We think it's prudent, we think it's timely, we think it's constitutional. It falls within our land use powers, and we are asking for support of the council to do this as a hold in place so that then we can find the resources to assure affordable housing for everyone in the city of Los Angeles. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cedillo. Let's go ahead and vote on this item, item number 4. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Bonin.
Bonin, aye.
Buscaino.
Aye.
Cedillo.
Aye.
De Leon.
Aye.
Harris Dawson.
Yes.
Koretz. Councilmember Koretz. Thank you. Krikorian.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Farrell.
Aye.
Price. Councilmember Price. Rahman.
Aye.
Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
And back to Price.
Aye.
Thank you. 15 ayes. This item is adopted.
Let's move on to item number 6, called special by Mr. Koretz.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to rise virtually in gratitude today. This item is simply a few clarifications for the city attorney to finalize the creation of what we still believe to be the world's first climate emergency mobilization office and commission, with environmental justice as its foundation and a mission to put the indigenous, frontline, and labor communities most affected by climate impacts in leadership positions, to advise the city on how it will address climate and toxic emissions policies, and then to actually lead all sectors of LA in a climate mobilization to reduce greenhouse gas emissions across the city in time to keep us below the dreaded 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming. The world looks to California, and California looks to Los Angeles for leadership on climate response. And if we don't do it more aggressively, no one will. And I earnestly hope and pray that others will follow our lead. I want to say a few well-deserved thank yous. Thank you to the LEAP LA Coalition and to Mayor Garcetti, Lauren Faber, Liz Crossan, and the rest of the mayor's team, to Council President Martinez and her Chief of Staff, Ackley Padilla, who worked with us tirelessly over many months. Thank you also to my co-author, Councilmember Blumenfield, to our budget chair, Councilmember Krikorian, and the rest of the committee members, Price and Bonin, who made sure we had the funding. And to Councilmember O'Farrell and his team, who's taken over the reins of the Energy, Climate Change, and Environmental Justice Committee, and is making sure that we'll have the resources that this office needs. And the new members of our committee for trusting in what we've built. And to each of you, the entire City Council, for believing in this and moving it forward. Also, I want to thank folks for their behind the scenes work, our City Attorney Mike Fewer in the City Attorney's Office, our CAO Rich Llewellyn, and our CLA Sharon So, and our Public Works team, especially President Greg Good and Fernando Campos, and to Wendy Macy and our personnel team, and the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance, and all the other supporters. And I don't want to leave out my staffer, Andy Schrader, who's poured his blood, sweat, and tears into bringing this to life. And finally, thank you to Marta Segura, our brand new Climate Emergency Mobilization Director, for stepping into this difficult role. She has all the environmental justice and city government and biodiversity experience we could possibly hope for, and I know she'll do a terrific job. So thank you, everyone, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Koretz. Let's go ahead and prepare and vote on this item, Madam Clerk. Please call the roll on item number 6.
Councilmember Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Bonin.
Bonin, aye.
Buscaino.
Aye.
Cedillo.
Aye.
De Leon.
Aye.
Harris Dawson.
Yes.
Koretz.
Aye.
Krikorian.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Farrell.
Aye.
Price. Councilmember Price.
Aye.
Rahman.
Aye.
Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
15 ayes. This item is adopted.
Okay, let's move on to item number 7. This was called special by several members. Mr. O'Farrell?
Thank you, Madam President. We have a very strong environmental theme today. Today, we are taking another step toward phasing out single-use plastics. In 2019, I authored the motion for a plastic straws and request ordinance, which became law later that year. Today's vote is a big step in a continuation down the road of phasing out all single-use disposable plastic foodware accessories. This item was approved unanimously by the Energy, Climate Change, Environmental Justice, and River Committee. This ordinance expands upon a previous utensils on request motion that I seconded with Councilmember Blumenfield some time ago, who, like the authors of today's motion, Councilmembers Koretz and Krikorian, are outspoken plastic waste reduction advocates. I want to thank all of you for your efforts leading us to this point. Plastic waste litters our streets, negatively impacts our aquatic life, is produced by fossil fuels, and creates unnecessary costs for taxpayers and businesses. The U.S. uses more than 36 billion disposable plastic utensils per year. For some context, that amount would wrap around our entire planet 139 times, according to National Geographic. That's how much waste goes out into our waste stream. And according to a UCLA Luskin Center for Innovation report contracted by LA County, no recovery facility serving LA County currently recycles plastic food serviceware due to issues of food residue contamination, product size, and product material. So I repeat, no single-use plasticware is being recycled right now. It's either going out into the Pacific Ocean or into our landfills. The ordinance will be modeled after the plastic straw on demand ordinance, which was mentioned earlier. And it's not about enforcement. Rather, it is a focus of changing behaviors and reversing the normalization of widespread consumption of disposable plastic waste. People care deeply about our environment and our planet when consumers take a moment to think if they really need single-use foodware items and contemplate the actions that are so casually destroying our environment. I believe most will make an informed decision. Billions of these foodware accessories are thrown out annually, and in light of the pandemic and our increased reliance on takeout to stay safer at home, the amount of single-use foodware and accessory items wasted increased exponentially by up to 300%, according to the International Waste Association. Not only do these items end up in our landfills for centuries, but restaurants in the US spend about $19 billion annually to purchase these items. And we all understand how restaurants and the entire industry has suffered during the pandemic. Drastically reducing our plastic foodware inventory is an opportunity to save our struggling restaurants money and take action to drastically reduce our fossil fuel consumption. And it needs to happen quickly, which is why my expectation is for this ordinance to be considered prior to Earth Day next month on the 22nd, like we did for the plastic straws on a request ordinance. Colleagues, I'd like to again recognize Mr. Krikorian and Mr. Koretz for this item before us today. It's great leadership, and I wholeheartedly ask for your unanimous aye vote on this significant environmental policy for the city of LA. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Koretz.
Thank you, Madam President, for hearing this item today. And thanks also to my co-author, Councilmember Krikorian, and his staff, and to Councilmember Blumenfield, who brought forward a similar motion previously. Today's motion is an easy, common sense requirement that we hope will help restaurants save money, help the city save money from unnecessary trash cleanups in our neighborhoods, and help stop piling unused stuff in our already teeming landfills. The fact sheet from a just introduced similarly minded state bill from Assemblymember Wendy Carrillo, AB 1276, says that 561 billion disposable foodware items are used, resulting in a whopping 4.9 million tons of waste. And that during COVID, the use of disposable food accessories has contributed to a 250 to 300% increase in single-use plastics and a 30% increase in waste, which is insane. California restaurants who have voluntarily made the transition already to a combination of by request and reusable foodware have proven to save between $3,000 and $21,000 per year, while reducing waste and greenhouse gas emissions. It should be added that reuse creates as many as 30 times more jobs than landfills. I want to follow the excellent pathway blazed by Mr. O'Farrell with his Straws on Demand effort, and I acknowledge his leadership in that arena. So I ask for your aye vote, and thank you.
Mr. Blumenfield.
Great, thank you. I rise in strong support today. And I also want to thank our council colleagues. I'd like to thank the two PKs for bringing this motion forward, as well as thanking Chairman O'Farrell for assuring in committee that there would be an assessment of the motion that I introduced back in 2018 to make sure that we include utensils in our straws on request ordinance. You know, a lot of people have that drawer in their kitchen, I certainly do, that's packed to the brim with all the extra forks and knives from takeout delivery, especially during COVID when we're taking out so much. And I just think it's sensible to ask consumers if they really need more. Now, more than ever, LA needs to lead strong environmental efforts. And I really believe as the second largest city in the nation, as a leader on these issues, we can make an ecological difference by thinking twice, simply thinking twice about how much how much we need these wasteful plastics such as utensils. Seattle included plastic utensils in their regulation because they're known to have similar negative effects on the environment and local communities. And in order for the city's efforts to ensure that the city's efforts are the most protective of the environment, we should consider adopting a plastic utensils on request ordinance as well. The sooner this happens, the better. With over 8.8 billion metric tons of plastic in our ocean and over 90% of plastic not being recycled, we've got to continue to curb the use of plastics and incentivize responsible disposal. We need to do everything we can to stop the onslaught of plastic flowing into our oceans, and that starts with just making smarter decisions. Much like when we reduced the use of the single-use bags, plastic bags, we can just make it clear to businesses large and small that the days of the unnecessary plastic utensils are over. It's in all of our interests. We just need to do it. Thank you.
Mr. Krikorian?
Thank you very much, Madam President. Thank you, colleagues, for so beautifully framing this issue. I, too, of course, ask all of you for your aye vote. I will say, I just want to add this. This is a really important and very common sense step forward that's a win-win. And so I think it should be obvious that we should be supporting this measure. I do think it's important that this council grapple with a much broader set of policies dealing with single-use plastics. And I know several of us are currently working on that. And I hope that we'll move that forward expeditiously, because the truth is this: the oil and gas industry globally is a dying industry. The world is moving towards electrification. In the transportation sector, the future of oil and gas is the future of the buggy whip. And they know that. And because they are some of the richest and most powerful companies in the world, they are pushing their product into single-use consumer products made of plastic. And so this issue and climate change are inextricably linked. This issue and environmental justice are inextricably linked, because that fork that you get at your neighborhood salad place when it gets delivered to your house is not going to ever be recycled, ever. What may very well happen to it is it may end up in Malaysia someplace, in a massive landfill where people starving and people who are driven by poverty have to try to wade through mountains of our waste plastic to try to find a few things that might be marketable, that might be recyclable, that might be able to be sold someplace. That's what's happening to your plastic after you eat your salad or after you have your latte at Starbucks. Your single-use plastics are either going into the landfill, not so much of it, going into the ocean, or going to Asia, where it is ruining the lives of millions of people. So we need to take a comprehensive view at reducing single-use plastics in every form. And this measure that's before you today is an important, simple, common sense step in the direction of that larger objective. So I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Krikorian. Members, let's go ahead and vote on this item. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on item number 7. I'm sorry, item number 8. I apologize. No, 7.
Correct.
Getting ahead of myself. Thank you. Go ahead and call the roll.
Councilmember Blumenfield.
Blumenfield, aye.
Bonin.
Bonin, aye.
Buscaino.
Aye.
Cedillo.
Aye.
De Leon.
Aye.
Harris Dawson.
Yes.
Koretz.
Aye.
Krikorian.
Aye.
Lee. Councilmember Lee.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
O'Farrell.
Aye.
Price.
Aye.
Rahman.
Aye.
Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
15 ayes. This item is adopted.
Okay, let's move on to item number 8. This was called special by Mr. O'Farrell.
Thank you, Madam President. This is really an important and beneficial development to all of the customers who rely on our Recicla program. Colleagues, after our discussion about the January 1st, 2021 Recicla rate increase at our February 4th Energy, Climate Change, Environmental Justice and River Committee, E3&R, the haulers voluntarily agreed to revisit, rethink, and work with the city to come up with options to further support our struggling businesses and multifamily buildings. And this was after multiple conversations and negotiations and dialogues. And we came up with a real, I think, strong compromise and way forward with this modified agreement. And we were able to do this without a long and involved contract amendment. This pandemic has affected all of us, but we believe and we know that we have to work together and collectively bear the burdens of its very real economic consequences, which is why the city stepped in with various emergency regulations for small businesses and renters affected by the pandemic. This is along those lines. So I want to again thank LA San and the 7 haulers who came together over the past few months to voluntarily create this uniform plan. I'd also like to thank my office for helping to coordinate these efforts over a several-week period. Here are a couple of the newly agreed upon actions that will be taken to help our constituents in need as a result of this plan. In addition to the actions the Recicla service providers were already taking, the service providers are sending out postcards as well as letters to each multifamily property owner customer, notifying them about payment deferment relief options. All multifamily property owner customers have the ability to defer their 2021 rate increase beginning with the April 2021 services through September of this year, with no late fees associated with the deferred payment amounts. And colleagues, this specifically benefits those smaller mom and pop owner-occupied rental properties of 4, 6, 8 units, extending the existing 15-day late fee assessment to 30 days for all Recicla customers, including businesses through September 2021. And the service providers will reissue language to all customers to contact them to discuss service adjustments or payment arrangements that may be available to alleviate COVID-19 pandemic challenges, to include rate increase challenges. And this includes all of the business customers as well. So we know that a lot of the service industry businesses have received little or zero income while paying overhead costs in their properties in commercial areas. But we also know that a lot of these property owners, multifamily property owners, are receiving no rent, in some cases, not a single rent payment in a building. And so this relief is essential if we were to help renters and keep property owners from going into default and then being gobbled up by big LLCs or big corporations that aren't vested in our neighborhoods. So even though this is not a 100% solution for anyone, it is a great success to help the most impacted in our city. And none of this means that our requirements to these exclusive contract haulers are lessened. They're still investing millions of dollars in environmentally sound equipment and food waste and recycling equipment and facilities. So all of our efforts to clean up the environment through this agreement are still in place. So this is something, this is a plan that really does benefit all. And I want to thank, again, our sanitation, LA Sanitation, my office, and the waste haulers, and everyone who cooperated in making this happen. Thank you. And I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. O'Farrell. Let's go ahead and vote on this item. Item number 8, please call the roll.
Blumenfield,
Blumenfield, aye.
Bonin,
Bonin, aye.
Buscaino,
Aye.
Cedillo,
Aye.
De Leon,
Aye.
Harris Dawson,
Yes.
Koretz,
Aye.
Krikorian,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
O'Farrell,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Rahman,
Aye.
Ridley Thomas,
Aye.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
15 ayes, this item is adopted.
Okay, let's move on to item number 12, call special by Mr. Cedillo. And Mr. City Attorney, if we'd like to remind the appellants and the applicants to begin to call in.
Yes,
Because the
absolutely.
next item after 12 is item 19.
Absolutely. So the appellants and the applicants for item number 19 should call in now. We would ask other members of the public not to do so. We want to get the fair hearing over with the appellants and the applicants. We'll have the public call in a little later after we've heard from the appellants and the applicants.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Cedillo. Item number 12.
Yeah. Yes, Madam President, thank you. As you know, our time period for the winter shelters will be ending in 2 weeks, and we have to do all that we can to prevent this. So what I've done is asked that the motion that I had previously submitted, asking for action in 14 days, actually be moved and amended. And I'm now asking the CAO to provide us a verbal report to council in 7 days, both on funding and options to keep our shelters open past March 30th.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cedillo. Let's vote on this item. Please call the roll.
Blumenfield,
Blumenfield, aye.
Bonin,
Bonin, aye.
Buscaino,
Aye.
Cedillo,
Aye.
De Leon,
Aye.
Harris Dawson, Councilmember Harris Dawson, Koretz,
Aye.
Krikorian,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
O'Farrell, Councilmember O'Farrell.
Aye.
Thank you. Price,
Aye.
Rahman,
Yes.
Ridley Thomas,
Aye.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
14 ayes, this item is adopted.
Okay, now we're going to move on to our fair hearing on item number 19. Mr. City Attorney, go ahead and
Yes,
walk
so-
us through this.
So we're going to start with the appellants, and I would just remind the members that this is a fair hearing. So I would ask you to pay heightened attention to the applicants and the appellants. When we're done with them, we'll then deal with the public, and then a member could make a motion if he or she so chooses. So Anna, let's start with the appellants, if we can. Again, if any of the appellants or applicants haven't spoken, or excuse me, haven't dialed in and they want to, please dial in now.
We need all members to please remain in your seats before we begin our fair hearing. We're asking the appellants to please call in to the call-in information number. Okay, Mr. City Attorney, it appears that the appellants are not on the line. So let's go ahead and go back to the applicants. So if the applicants can please call in. Okay, I need all members in their seats, please. We're going to go ahead and start with the applicants.
Caller
Can we
with
take
the
the
phone
first
number.
caller?
Caller with the phone number ending in 2203, please press star 6. Please state your name.
Good afternoon, Madam President and Council members. I'm Jack Rubens with the Shepherd Mullen Law Firm on behalf of the applicant Equitas Academy Charter Schools
Okay.
on item 19.
So thank you. We're going to set the clock for 5 minutes. We would ask that you simply don't be repetitive and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, but actually Malco Borrego, the founder and CEO of Equitas, will speak first, followed very briefly by me. So if you could unmute her, please.
Can you give us the last 4 digits of that person's number, please?
That's an excellent question.
What is the name of the person, sir?
7624. 7624.
Okay, we found her. Thank you. Go ahead.
Caller with the phone number ending in 7624, please press star 6. Please state your name.
Good morning. I'm Malca Borrego, CEO and founder of Equitas Academy Charter Schools.
Go ahead.
I would like to thank the Los Angeles City Council for having us here today, and also thank Councilman Cedillo and CD1 staff for their partnership and the work over the years. I'm here to ask for your approval on the change use of a facility for our 2 schools, Equitas 5 and 6, in the Pico Union neighborhood. Equitas Academy was founded in 2009, and we had 1 school with 100 kinder and first graders. The idea for this school began much earlier, as I'm a proud Pico Union resident and grew up in my grandfather's home. My love for my community and my commitment to educational equity motivated me to come back to create schools that enabled our students to have the skills and drive necessary to graduate college as first-gen students. Living in Pico Union for 3 generations, I have seen our college graduation rate hover at about 5%, and I believe our community deserves access to excellent public schools, and Equitas Academy is working to achieve that goal. I'm really proud to say that those founding students that started with us in 2009 as kinder and first graders are now seniors applying, and I just received Torian is attending my alma mater, Stanford, this year.
Speaker, are you still there? Speaker?
Yes, yes, I'm here. Sorry about that.
We can't hear you.
So-
Are you done? Speaker?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, you are breaking up. I'm just asking if you're done so I can move on to the next
Yes.
speaker.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
I just have just a few more pieces.
Sure.
Well, we currently are in 10 years of serving our community with 6 schools and 2,000 students. And in those 10 years, we have brought in $100 million in investments in facilities to Pico Union. We have a thriving nonprofit with 250 employees and an annual $40 million operating budget. And I'm proud to say that we employ 10% of our staff live in Pico Union and now have access to affordable health care for their families and access to a BA program for college degrees. During this pandemic, we stepped up and served hundreds of thousands of meals. And we want to continue our work in Pico Union through this facility strategy to rehab and utilize ground up construction where we do not displace residents or small businesses. Los Angeles Unified School District has approved all 6 of our charters. We have very high demand and 75% of our students are residents in Pico Union. And I am asking for your approval so that we can continue to do our work in Pico Union. Our work has shown that we are, Pico Union, committed to our people. I'm a teacher, a parent, a founder, working to ensure that our neighborhood has excellent public schools and a beautiful, safe facility. So I ask that you help us realize that for our students and our community once again, and bring this project of 2 elementary schools into a beautiful permanent facility. I believe Jack was going to just finish off and add a few more pieces. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
we'll go back to the gentleman from Shepherd Mullen who was first on the line.
Hi. You know what? I don't want to take any more of your valuable time. I'll just say we're very grateful for you having this hearing today, and Equitas is especially grateful to Councilmember Cedillo for his leadership on this issue. So on behalf of Equitas, we respectfully request that the City Council deny the appeals and grant final approval for this very important and needed project in Pico Union. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I believe we can go on to the appellants if they're on
Are
the
the
line.
appellants on the line?
We're working on that. Hopefully we'll have them in a moment. Okay, it seems we have one of the appellants on the line. So let's take.
Caller with the phone number ending in 1502, please press *6. Please state your name.
Yes, my name is Aurora Karumna, and I am an appellant. And I have to first say that we were told today, received an email from the city clerk that this meeting had been canceled. And that is why there are no appellants. I just happened to come back on the line to check, and no appellants are on because we received this email. So, in all fairness, I think that you need to continue this at another time. And the fact that we actually were only told about this meeting at 9:58 in the morning, and we were expecting to have a plum hearing first, and that is the protocol. And then all of a sudden, you know, we're at City Council for a vote. So we ask that you follow the protocol, and we were expecting the plum meeting first, and then this council meeting to happen. And the fact that we were locked out, everybody was locked out for about, I don't know, several hours prior to being, and then we got the message that this had been canceled. So that's why no one is on the line.
So the plum meeting had technical difficulties, which is why we're holding the fair hearing here. I'm unaware of any message from the clerks saying that this was not going to go on. So for the speaker who's just on the line, do you want to speak to the merits of the matter?
Yes, I think that we were expecting the plum meeting to be rescheduled. I believe that was the protocol that most of the appellants, were assuming that was going to happen. In fact, Mr. Nick Heller called in and sent an email to the clerk and said that they would let them know when the plum meeting was going to be rescheduled. He never heard from them. He texted me and said, I never heard anything about it. So today at 9:58, I get a call from Gandhi Diaz, our field deputy, saying the meeting's at 10. So we start scrambling to get everyone to come to the meeting. We get as many as we can. I told her my brother and sister-in-law are at work. There are my sister-in-law and brother. They cannot attend the meeting, and they try to schedule to take some time off to come on the meeting. And so there's all these problems with the scrambling of trying to get all the appellants on the last minute. So it's unfair that you are not giving us enough time to come to this meeting, and then we scramble and come, and then we're locked out of the system.
Again,
and then we get this email.
I'm unaware of anything from the city saying that this was not going forward. But again,
I can send you that email if you'd like, because it was sent to Gloria Faria's attorney, Ada.
So let me open it up again to you. Do you want to speak to the merits of the case? You're on the line, so if you want to, this would be an opportune time.
To talk about why I'm appealing the case, is that what you're saying?
Well, there's an appeal. Do you want to talk about the basis of your appeal and whether it should be granted or not? If you want to, please go ahead.
I would like to talk about it, but I think that since I would be the only one, it seems unfair. We have 8 appellants on this deal, and we all have different items of the project that we're appealing. So for you to vote on this with just me entering my interest in it is unfair.
Do we have any other of the appellants on the line? No?
No, there's no one.
Sorry, I was speaking to the staff. Members, why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and recess for 10 minutes, and we'll give the appellant some time to call in. And we'll recess for 10 minutes while folks give them an opportunity to call into this number and be heard on this item. So why don't we go ahead and take a 10-minute recess, and we'll be back.
Present.
Buscaino.
Here.
Cedillo.
Here.
De Leon.
Here.
Harris Dawson.
Present.
Koretz.
Here.
Krikorian.
Here.
Lee.
Present.
Martinez.
Present.
O'Farrell.
Present.
Price.
Present.
Rahman.
Here.
Ridley Thomas.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
15 members and a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. City Attorney, can you go ahead and discuss what we're doing on item number 19?
Sure. So we're going to continue the item with the appropriate motion. We'll continue the item. We can't have a special plum meeting between.
Okay, Mr. Herman. How is? Can we have the IT folks come and address why members of the public are in our meeting?
So, as I was saying, we can't have a special plum meeting in the short term. So, if the president and the council agrees, I recommend that we continue item 19 to Wednesday the 24th, a week from today, at council. I would recommend that the appellants and the applicant be on notice that we're planning to have the hearing then. So please be prepared to speak to the substance of the item. And to the applicant and the appellant, let me just remind you, we're going to run the meeting similarly in that we're going to have public comment, regular public comment, at which point you may get kicked off the phone lines, and we will ask you to call back in when this item is called. So a week from today, please, appellant and applicants, be prepared to speak to the substance of the appeals and the application, and please listen carefully to the council meeting so that you understand that if you're off the phone line, you need to be listening to call back in when it's time for the fair hearing on the item.
Which is exactly what happened today. Okay.
Precisely.
All right, so let's go ahead. Now that that's been clear, we're going to bring this item back on the 24th. And Madam Clerk, did you want to address the comment that was made by the appellant, I believe, regarding an email that was sent from the city clerk's office?
Thank you, Madam President. For the record, the city clerk's office did not send any emails regarding this item in council today.
Okay. All right, Mr. City Attorney, so we're going to go ahead and continue this item till March 24th.
Yes, thank you, Madam President.
All right. All right, Madam Clerk, what's before us now?
Thank you, Madam President. Council has motions for posting and referral. Motions will be posted on the city clerk's website shortly after the meeting for the public's viewing. To subscribe to receive copies of today's council motions to your email, please visit clerk.lacity.org.
Okay, those posted and referred members, do you have any announcements before I get to adjourning motions? Mr. Ridley
Madam
Thomas, is
President?
that an announcement?
Madam President?
Hold on for just a second. I can only see virtual hands. Mr. Ridley Thomas, is this an announcement? Can you unmute yourself, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Statement
Go ahead.
regarding matters of concern and consequence to us all. Since COVID-19, Madam President, colleagues, taken hold, and we've seen a striking number of attacks against Asian Americans, in particular the elderly, which takes its toll and which has put our community on high alert. The events of yesterday, the heinous attacks that occurred in Atlanta, require us to be vocal and forceful about this rise of hate and racism against Asian American Pacific Islander communities. Madam President and colleagues, I'm sure you share this sentiment, but I unequivocally and unapologetically stand in solidarity with the API community and will work to provide support against all forms of racism and violence. It's only through our collective commitment to fight against xenophobic rhetoric, racist acts of violence, that we can hold those accountable who seek to cause harm. And we must do this together. I believe to build an equitable world, sensible, rational communities, we have to be actively committed on all fronts. We must understand the unique challenges each and every one of our communities face, especially those from the API community at this particular point in time. We cannot ignore it. We should not be silent in the face of it. We should shout from the mountain's top, stop Asian hate now. We need to hashtag it, stop API hate, stop Asian hate crimes. We need to do that and more. Madam President, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to express my views as a devotee of nonviolence, one with deep history and roots in terms of civil rights and human rights, one who goes back to the very act of violence visited upon Vincent Chin in the 80s, mistakenly thought to be of a different ethnic group and ultimately was murdered pursuant to this. These are not new acts, and yet we need to be as forceful in each instance that they occur. Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Rahman. Announcements?
Yes, I just, I wanted to speak to the same thing that Councilmember Ridley Thomas spoke to right now. I can't tell you how heavy my heart is this morning. And I'm so glad you spoke those words, Councilmember. And I'm so eager to work with all of you to create a city that's really anchored in love and that stands against hate in all of its forms. And to all of my Asian siblings out there, I mourn with you, I stand with you, and I'm sure we all do today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Mr. Lee will be adjourning in just a moment on behalf of the slain victims from this mass shooting that occurred yesterday. So I do want to give him that opportunity, but we're still in announcements. Mr. Curran Price, do you have an announcement, sir?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to stand with my colleagues in opposition to these heinous acts that we're witnessing in Atlanta, but we've seen all over the country. as it impacts our fellow Asian neighbors. Discrimination and hate at any level, at every level, is just unconscionable. We certainly have had evidence of it before in the Black and brown communities, for example. And we have to stand tall with our brothers wherever they are in denouncing this kind of behavior, standing for what's right, and making sure that we are not only a system and a history, a country of laws, but of equity, and making sure there's fairness and honesty throughout. And so I stand with my colleagues in denouncing these heinous acts and hope that we can all move forward together in a much more positive direction and equality for all.
Mr. De Leon, for announcements.
Thank you very much, Madam President. For sure, I'll reserve my comments with regards to the heinous acts of the attacks and the murders of Asian Americans tomorrow, where we'll have our Human and Civil Rights and Immigration Committee hearing. We'll definitely be discussing this. This will be on our agenda. So I'll reserve my comments for that tomorrow. But I also do want to recognize as well as today is the 17th of March, and this is when we celebrate and recognize the patron saint of Ireland. And I recognize that Mr. Mitchell Farrell, as well as Mr. Gail O'Cedillo, Mr. Mark O'Ridley Thomas, they're all wearing their green, as well as Mr. John O'Lee as well. And I want to wish each and every one of you a very happy St. Patrick's Day to all. And for those who don't know, St. Patrick was a 5th century missionary who became a legendary figure and is considered the patron saint of Ireland. And though my name is Kevin, as you may suspect, I am not Irish, but I am a member of the Irish American Caucus nonetheless, as an invitee. Like many immigrant groups in the United States, to the United States, the history of the Irish people has been defined by struggle. The British occupation, the colonial rule of Ireland dates back to the 12th century. And during this British occupation, the native Irish, most of them Catholic, were forced to be tenant farmers, growing crops and farming livestock that was then exported out of the country, leaving them to subsist in a diet dominated by only potatoes. And when blight destroyed, I should say, that potato crop from 1845 to 1852, those British landlords increased the exports of the crops and livestock off the island, while millions of native Irish starved to death in the fields. The centuries of abuse drove millions of Irish Catholics across that small pond we call the Atlantic Ocean to the United States. And it was the largest diasporas we've ever seen. Those who survived that journey, like many new immigrant groups we know, were met with fresh wave of discrimination and racism, with many immigrants seeking work being told no Irish need apply. Among this xenophobia and anti-Catholic bias, many Irish American immigrants found solidarity with their own fellow Catholics. And I can say that several hundreds of them, Irish American soldiers, went so far as to leave the US side and fight along their Mexican comrades in the Mexican-American War, what they've become known as La Brigada San Patricio, St. Patrick's Brigade. Irish Americans overcame this adversity, gained prominence, and shaped the history of our country as well as our state. Hollywood saw Irish American stars like Martin Sheen and Grace Kelly, Maureen O'Hara, Phil Donahue, even Manuel Antonio Rodolfo Quinn Oaxaca, born in Chihuahua, Mexico, yet raised in city terrace in Echo Park, whose grandfather immigrated from County Cook, Ireland. This is, of course, Anthony Quinn. And the music industry has been changed forever by musicians like Bruce Springsteen and our very own Highlands Park's very own Billie Eilish, not to mention Ireland's own U2, the Cranberries, and My Bloody Valentine. James Joyce, Oscar Wilde, Flannery O'Connor, Cormac McCarthy are among the few who shaped the literary world, and whereas Presidents John F. Kennedy and Joe Biden's leadership have written American political history. So today we celebrate the contributions of the Irish and Irish Americans to our country, to our city, and to around the world. So I'd say, Erin Gobra, which means Ireland forever. We have been blessed and touched by the cultural, economic, the political, and academic influence of this little tiny island, I can't say, with a name like Kevin, of course, much in class, when I would be singled out, there was Jose, Antonio, Fabian, Josue, Maria, Celia, Susana, and there's Kevin. And sort of, stood out always with that name, Kevin. Always confused at a very young age why I had the name Kevin. And folks often ask me. My mom was a housekeeper in a very wealthy enclave in La Jolla, California. Those beautiful mansions with the live-in nannies, with the panoramic view of the Pacific Ocean. And my mom heard the name Kevin, and she didn't know it was Gaelic. She didn't know the origins of Ireland, but she liked the name phonetically nonetheless, and she named me Kevin. And now, to Gil Cedillo, when you go around MacArthur Park or Pico Union, even Ball Heights, you hear little Kevins around, that name that is starting to become very popular among Latino immigrants themselves, quite interestingly. But nonetheless, we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and to all the Irish Americans who contributed greatly and who were part of that huge diaspora of folks fleeing because of starvation, because of oppression, and fleeing across that tiny pond we call the Atlantic, and coming to contribute to the greatness of who we are as a nation, as a state, as well as a city. So to all, again, a very happy and very safe St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, Mr. O'Farrell and Mr. Buscaino, you both have announcements. I really want to give an opportunity for Mr. Lee to speak on the mass shooting that occurred yesterday, and I want to give him that ability to do that, so we're still in announcements. So, Mr. O'Farrell?
Thank you, Madam President. Really quickly, Kevin, my Irish American father would have been so proud at your knowledge of Irish history. So thank you for that. It's worth mentioning that St. Patrick, it is believed through legend that he used the Irish clover, the three-leaf clover, to represent the Holy Trinity in his teachings, another piece of folklore. But let me just say this, Madam President and colleagues. I received a text from Bridget Labange this morning saying, please have a green beer and think of Tom. Every year, Tom Labange would head the Irish American celebrations here in the council chamber. So we miss that tradition, but I hope to bring it back next St. Patrick's Day in Tom's honor and everyone else's. So I just wanted to put that out there. Let's have one in the memory of our friend Tom Labange this evening. Thank you, Madam President.
Beautifully said, Mr. O'Farrell. We'll definitely celebrate him next year during St. Patty's Day. Mr. Buscaino?
And just to, Madam President, members, just to pick up on Mr. O'Farrell's comments, I wear this sash in honor of our beloved Tom Labange. This is his day, and I'm often reminded of how proud he was to be an Irish American, how he filled the John Ferraro chambers with such joy and parading with the Irish dancers and singing and dancing. I'm thinking about him, to Bridget, who is maybe listening, and the kids, we love you. And thinking about our beloved Tom Labange. Thank you, Mitch, for mentioning our brother Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Buscaino. I see no other members on announcements, so we're going to move on to adjourning motions. Mr. Lee?
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you to Councilmember De Leon for bringing attention to St. Patrick's Day. My wife, you forgot to mention my wife and two kids as influential Irish American Angelinos. But thank you, I appreciate that. But moving on to a more serious subject, thank you to all of you for your comments regarding the shootings that happened yesterday. I would like to adjourn in the memory of the 8 shooting victims, including 6 of them who are Asian women that were murdered. And I won't even give them the person's name to give them that satisfaction. But this man targeted and went on a shooting spree at 3 massage parlors in Atlanta. These are businesses where most of the employees are Asian, and these killings took place during a time when violence and hate directed at the AAPI community has sharply increased. I'm happy to hear all of your comments because I believe we do need to do more to condemn these crimes. We need to give incidents like these which is just another in a string of attacks against the Asian Americans throughout this country, the attention that it deserves. These killings didn't happen in a vacuum. To ignore the backdrop against in which they took place is really to dismiss the severity of these crimes and to fully understand its impact on the AAPI community. Today, it's unfortunate because it seems like every single day we're hearing more and more of this. And I'm asking all of you, and I'm, again, thankful for your comments. I'm asking all of you, as we would do for any perceived targeting of any religion or any ethnicity, that we all take a stand against what's happening across this country and to bring the much attention needed towards these crimes. I'm tired of hearing these stories over and over again. One of my staff members just told me that just this morning, another attack happened in the San Francisco area. And enough's enough. We need to bring attention to this throughout all of our communities. So thank you to all of you. And I'd like to adjourn in the memory of them. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. I also just wanted to note that since I was reading in the paper this morning, that since March of last year, nearly 4,000 hate crimes targeting Asian Americans have been reported in all 50 states. And I think that's important to note. People often ask, what can we do? What we can do is to start recognizing that Asian American community is under attack. And I think we do that by raising awareness and using our platforms to be able to speak up and stand in solidarity with the Asian American community in this country. And so, it's unimaginable what these families are going through, but we have to speak up against these mass shootings and against white supremacy and what's led us to this. So thank you, Mr. Lee. We stand with you in solidarity as a council and as a city. Mr. Blumenfield?
Thank you. And along the same lines, I'd planned to join Mr. Lee in this adjournment, and I want to do that. And in rise in the memory of the 8 people we've talked about who were murdered last night in Atlanta, killed by someone who had rage, hatred, and violence in their heart. And I know, and we all know, we've talked about the residents in LA are reeling in pain and stand in solidarity with the family and friends of the victims, 6 of whom were AAPI. It's just keeps happening. Although in this case, we think it was targeted specifically. The pain that has been felt by the AAPI community just continues to spike during this pandemic. And we can't sit by and let any group be targeted, discriminated, or brutalized because of their identity. Over the last few years, we've had horrible incidents. And when the fatal shootings of Jews at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pennsylvania and the Poway Synagogue here in California, we joined together. In fact, we organized a vigil. When the Orlando shooting at the Pulse nightclub targeted LGBT folks, we joined together in solidarity. We came together when the Charleston church shooting happened, which targeted African Americans. We joined in solidarity. Sadly, I could go on and keep naming more and more incidents. It appears as if this horrible killing is just another example of people being deliberately targeted because of their race. So let's not only remember these lives that were lost, but let's recommit ourselves to the fight against racism, xenophobia in our communities and all across the country. May the memories of the victims be a blessing. May they rest in peace.
Mr. Cedillo?
Thank you, John Lee. Thank you, Bob Blumenfeld. I wasn't going to speak, but I just feel compelled to add my voice to the chorus against hate and these heinous crimes. Let me note that I think one of the ways to combat this is to, as Bob just noted, Mr. Blumenfield, that we must oppose hate speech of all forms. And Madam Chair, you've been a victim of that almost in every meeting that we have. We have to oppose hate speech in all its forms, in every forum, every platform, every circumstance. I think that's very key for us. I know Mr. Blumenfield, because the list is so long, didn't note the killings in El Paso. of the Latino community. Let's be clear, while hate and divisiveness has been a part and parcel of this great nation from its beginning, it was exacerbated in the last term by the Trump administration. Bobby, I remember when you pulled us all together after the crimes in Pennsylvania, I told you, I'm exhausted. It was so much anger and so much hate of the Trump administration. And this is just a continuation of that. But it's a new day, and it's a day for us to all come together, to be united. The way we combat this is through accountability and acknowledgement and recognition of our diversity as our strength, and through solidarity. And so those opportunities will present themselves to us, to this council, and to the city. And each and every day we should embrace them as we go forward. And so, Madam President, thank you for your leadership and your tolerance, but we should have a no tolerance on the hate speech that comes into this council. There's a First Amendment, but there's also hate speech. I distinguish those two because one leads to violence. The records show liberal organizations like the FBI have studies that have noted that shortly after hate speech will become hate crimes. And therefore, if we want to be preventive, then we must call out at every moment that hate speech, because it's the precursor to these hate crimes. We've seen it structurally, we've seen it through an administration, and now is the time for us to come together and to combat it at each and every moment. Thank you, Madam President, for your
Thank
leadership.
you, Mr. Cedillo. I appreciate your support, sir. I've been struggling and urging to find a way to perhaps protect us in terms of what are legal parameters when it comes to hate speech in this council chambers now for 8 years, and I'm still waiting for a way to be able to do that. So I appreciate you acknowledging that very much. Is there any other adjourning motions, members? Okay, seeing none, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.